Okay, we are rising and shining, and today we're going to need a couple things. So, we're going to need like a yoga block or something short that you can be elevated on. We're going to do some hip hikes and some balance reaches where I want a little bit of height. If you don't have something small and it's a little bit larger, that's fine too. Just something that you can get up on so that you're not as close to the ground. If you don't have something, you can fake it. It's totally fine. We also need our foam rollers, of course, and we'll need a chair or something to put our foot back on. And we're going to do some get ups. So have that already. Do we need bands? I don't think so, but let's get started. I already forgot the workout I just wrote very shortly ago. So let's get started with really good posture. We're going to stand up and we're going to look down at our feet and start there. All right. So we've got Kevy in the house. Wide awake is normal. Yes. Okay. So with our good posture here, I said first look down at our feet, which means terrible posture, but that's okay. I want you to take a look. First, wiggle those toes around and then plant your feet where you get your toes as wide as possible. If that's possible, display them out. And then let's get our knees to the place where we can feel our feet get our arches activated. So when we're not standing on the outside of our foot to have our arch up, right? But feel it. All right, once we're there, that should mean your legs are in a good position. Now squeeze your glutes, keep those arches up. Now let's roll our shoulders back and get our head up. We're proud of this posture. It feels good. Let's take 2 deep breaths, deflecting all the bullshit that might come at us this week. It's not coming for you. I'm not going to promise that, but it would be nice if it doesn't, right? So just 2 deep breaths. All right, and let's get started with our step backs. So just coming back nice and slow. We get our thumbs coming behind us, opening up our chest, and then switching sides. Good morning, Maria. All right, just nice and slow. As you get your heel down in the back, you get your thumbs behind you. So nice and slow, just keep swapping sides. All right. Keep up with those deep breaths. They're calming for our body, our nervous system. We want that, right? All right, heels coming down. Your heel does not need to touch the ground. If it doesn't, that's okay. You're not forcing it. Good. One more on this side, and then we're going to do one more on the other side. All right, Emily's here. Good morning. And then here we go. All right. We are going to do a hip hurdle to a step out. So what that's going to look like is we're going to hurdle and then come right to the step, try and come right back to this hurdle. So we're using balance to get ourselves right back up. Yeah, everyone is on it. Good, good, good. All right. Yes, try not to put your foot down if you don't need to in an extra spot, just on that step out there. When you come up here, try to hold everything tight, which will keep yourself in good balance. Hopefully, if you've been good and the balance fairy comes to you today, like the tooth fairy. All right, 3, 2, let's go to the other side. Good, nice tall posture to get started. Hurdle and step out. Good. Whoop, didn't make that first one. All right, hurdle, step out. Gotta get my brain around what we're doing this morning. You might too, although everyone looks good. Good. Nice and tall in between. And 5 more seconds. Okay, that side is way less successful for me. I don't know how you guys are doing so nicely, but yes. All right, let's switch it up. We're just going to get into our hinge wing position. So let's start with our hands in front. We are trying to pull our shoulders down while we get our neck nice and long. So we're pulling down. And then let's get hands back, right behind us. Head is far apart from our fingers. and then bring it back up. Let's push here. Keep your feet just like they were in that good posture we started with. So see if you can feel your arch come up as you push your hands together. Good. And then come on back behind. Good. Nice long back. One more time, come on up. Let's make sure our toes are in just a click. We can squeeze our inner thighs together as we push our hands together. So lots of tension on our body. Shoulders come down because we are relaxed. And come on back to that hinge again. Good. Hold this one for a couple seconds. Really get long back. Really feel long, long, long. And come on back up. All right, your feet are probably in just the perfect position, but they might need to click out one because we're going to come down into a squat. So they're probably the right distance apart, but feet should come out just a tad. We don't want them in because that's going to bring our knees in. So our feet come out a little bit so that we're going to aim our elbows for our knees. That doesn't mean they need to touch, but we're aiming for that. So maybe you get a couple before you touch it down. But we're holding our hands up in this position so our elbows can drive down towards our knees, and that's what we're aiming for. Think about keeping your back in one position. So we've got this nice long body, and then we come down and squeeze glutes at the top. All right, exhale as you come up. Yes, good breathing. All right. You're gonna feel like, oh, but my elbows aren't touching. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is the least of anything that matters today, I hope. Good. Just get in a couple more here. And then everyone grab either a chair or just get your foot back. You can have your foot back onto your couch. A soft spot is great because we are going to use this for our stretch here. So go ahead and get your leg back, whichever leg is back. I want you to make sure that glute is tight. So squeeze that glute that's behind you. And now we're just going to come down into mini squats, but you can see I'm not coming down very far. So I'm not trying to break my quad here, but I'm keeping this glute tight. So I'm getting in a stretch here. So I'm standing nice and tall, body is long, and just coming down and up. So my back is not moving, just this front leg is moving, getting in a deeper stretch on this side. Good. Should feel really good through your quad. If it's feeling like, oh, that stinks, it's painful, it's terrible, stop doing it, please. But otherwise, the one constant is tight glute here. All right, 3, 2, let's do the other side. So from the front, it will look like this. Again, back is nice and long. It should not be curved. So if you're too far forward, your back might need to be curved for you to stand up. So just check on that. Once you're in good position, you can get going with those squats. Come on down. It might be an inch, it might be a couple inches, however it feels good for you. But making sure glutes tight, everybody. That's the rule right now. The rule for this one, tight glutes. All right. Come on down. Good. Keep remembering those deep breaths. That's what we're looking for here. All right. Good. Everyone's got it, which is great because there's only 5 more seconds until we get on the ground and we are going to thread the needle. You all know that one. All right. Make sure your foam roller is nearby because we're going to do that afterwards, but we're going to thread the needle. So that's when we're in our hands and knees and we are coming through with our arms. So we're working on getting our back, giving our back a little bit of an adjustment. Guess I will be working around this floor mat that I have here called Kevy. All right. So everyone first, before you do anything, get into a good hands and knees tabletop with me. And we are going to quick cat-cow just to make sure we're in a good position. So everyone is getting on hands and knees. Oh, I see the happy cat showing how it's done. Good. So we're cat-cow quick. just for a sec there. All right, now end up not in cat, not in cow, sorry, Happy, but in total neutral position. So your back is as long as possible. Now we're gonna start thread the needle. So take your right arm, thread it underneath your left side, thread it through, try to get your shoulder down to the ground. It might happen, might not. Exhale as you do it. Give some space. Good, then you can come back up. And then one more time. I want you to go back down and exhale as you come down. Good, hold there for a couple seconds. And then let's go to the other side. The other side, we got our left side through the right, shoulders coming down. All right, back up. And then our second time here, see if you can get down a little lower. Maybe everything's feeling a little looser after you do it again. Everything should be feeling good here. All right, exhale, big exhale, and then go ahead, grab your foam roller. We are going to do hip scissors on the roller. So that is where we have our hips over the roller. Our roller is under our hips, and we are doing some scissors. I am really gonna have to move you, babe. Hi, Kevy. You are fun to have in the shot, but you gotta get on. There we go. All right. So if you're not sure what these are, I've cleared some space for myself. All right. So we've got our hips supported with our foam roller, so our legs can come up to the ceiling, and then we can get into that scissor pattern. So this should feel really good through your low back or hips, wherever that roller is focused. If it feels like, oh, that's a pointy, pokey part, move the foam roller. But it should also feel good as you have your legs open, good stretch through the inner thighs. Basically, just feel like a kid. Everything should feel it open and good. Yes, we're gonna do this for 15 more seconds, and then we'll swap it to a calf foam roll. So keep this going for another, let's say 5 more seconds. I'm timing it perfectly. All right, 3, 2, all right. So calves. We'll start at the bottom, and throughout this workout, we will get the foam rolling up and at our backs as we do. But let's start with one leg. We'll do 90 seconds for calves because I like to compartmentalize, think about it in 3 ways. So you are on calves, 90 seconds. Start with the spot that always feels tight for you. So if that's right around the Achilles, start there. If it's on the outside, peroneal tendon area, start there. Wherever it is that you've got a tight spot, you can do the foam rolling, you can do the shearing side to side motion, whatever it is, go for it. Pin and stretch is another one, so you get that other foot on there and pin down those muscles, get a good stretch, helps the muscle and the fascia move better, help them glide over each other. That's what we're looking for. All right. So I hope everyone had a good weekend. I was at the Mount Hood 50 at an aid station on Sunday, which is always fun, and you always learn something. I will say that when we arrived at the aid station, opened the van door, and it was like a cloud of mosquitoes around my head, like it was a costume or something. And I was thinking, well, super, there's so many fans here watching the race, and I'm just gonna only be here for like 5 hours. Amazing. Okay, that's definitely not what I was thinking, but looking back, I'm trying to be positive about it. I was actually thinking, how much bug spray can I just spray all the time without killing myself, because that was crazy town. Anyway, luckily for me, I had an outfit with a hood and the full thing, so I looked like it was winter. But anyway, switching sides, everyone, that was our 90 seconds. So switching sides, but luckily Sparkling Company and Serving Runners made me forget about it for as much of the time as I could. But wow, that was intense. Mosquitoes, man, they are small but mighty. shows what we can do when we get together, right? Anyway, so that was that. But one interesting thing that I found at this race, probably starting at the mid pack. So, let's say there was 150 runners, probably starting at runner, number 80, where people like, oh, I think I'm last. And saying sort of that negative, like, I'm behind, or sort of feeling kind of poor about their performance, which I was so sad about, because they were definitely not last, not even close. But it's an interesting how that external factor was making them feel a certain way when potentially they were having a really good run. So it's something to think about. We sometimes are, out for whatever we're doing, and it might feel good. And then we look at our watch and we're like, oh, I thought I was so much faster, or I was farther than this, 15 more seconds here. I'm counting, I promise. Or we're having a good day, and then we step on the scale, and then it totally turns our day around, that kind of thing, right? It's really hard not to let those external factors not bother us, but we do. Oh man, it's a bummer. Okay, stopping there. I'm getting off this one here. So let's get into a kneeling position. I want to take that beautiful foam rolling we did on our calves and see how it feels when we do some ankle mobility. So coming up here, if you don't want to be in a kneeling position, if that hurts your knee, you can do ankle mobility against the wall. That is totally great. Otherwise, this will help us get a little bit through our hips too. So we are coming just knee over our foot as much as possible. The same thing as when we're going towards the wall, where I want you to get your as far as possible, but keeping your heel on the ground. So making sure heel doesn't lift up. Anyway, that external factor thing is interesting, because I say, like, don't let that happen, but sometimes it happens and it's like turns you totally around. Like, you think I'm last, and you're like, no, you're in third place. And then someone's like, ooh, me, I'm amazing, right? So how do we use those external, signals to make us feel better, but not make us feel worse? Man, the human brain is complicated, isn't it? It would be nice if we could only use it for positive and not for the negative, but we use it for both. So anyway, recognizing when those things are getting to us and trying not to let the negative ones, because man, it's so easy to do. Switch sides. We made a sign that said, you're pretty, and that was the best. So if you need to, just write it on your mirror. I'm pretty. When all else fails, right? All right. Keep this going. One thing about having mosquitoes at your aid station is no one stays there too long. So that's good. Everyone just keeps on moving. All right. Keep this going. And surprisingly, I do not have that many mosquito bites somehow. All right. We are getting good mobility here, trying to keep your heel down. Promise you're keeping it down. All right. And we are ready to rock our first set. So our first set, I want you to have a chair or whatever you were using for having your foot back before, but a chair or couch, whatever it is. I want you having something that's a level that is not super challenging for you for get-ups, but is a little bit so. So we're going to do get-ups, but we're going to practice the proper breathing so that when we do them on days for our workouts, we are sure we get it. So we'll be 1 foot out, inhale, perfect posture, and then we exhale on the way up. So join me if you're ready. Inhale, good posture, and we exhale on the way out. Doing one side at a time. So we're doing 30 seconds, or we're going to do 40 seconds per side because these are slow. Inhale, exhale. The trick to these when you're trying to get lower is that you have the proper body position to do it. So if we practice the proper body position in a spot that's easy-ish for us, then we can work up to doing these harder and harder, which is what we want to do. Get that strength through our quads, really balance our knees here. This takes a lot of good tracking for our knees. Good. 3, 2, let's just switch sides and go right into it. Good. So you're sitting, You got that inhale. Shoulders come back, everything's stacked. And exhale, yes. Good. Okay, keep this going. Let's see it. If you look down and you see that your knees going whoop, 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 like it's impersonating a snake or something, then use a higher chair, or you can just fold up a towel, put it on there for our second round through. But I don't want you to keep going when your knee is not tracking well. We've got 5 more seconds, so get in 1 more or 2. All right. And the second thing we're doing for this set is we are going to do calf raises using our chair. So what I want us to do is work on good hip position. Today we're doing lots of hips. So I've got 1 foot on here on the chair, and then I want to make sure, let's see if I can show you from the front. So from the front, you can see I could be in this sort of this position or this position, which is the correct position. So if I can squeeze my glutes, I'm in the correct position. Because if I'm out here, they're squeezing my glutes, I can kind of do it, but it feels weird. And I know my hips jutting out. So I want you first in this really good posture here. So everything's long here, tight. And then we're coming into a single leg calf raise. So go ahead and join me when you're ready. If you feel like you are in good balance, you can have, just a toe on, but then it sort of works through your hip. We're working all through here while we're getting those calf raises in. All right, coming up as high as you can. If you need to, putting a finger on something, that's okay. 3, 2, whoo, my calves felt that one. All right, let's switch sides. Come to the other side. So same thing, make sure your hips not jutting out. You're in great position, and let's do it up and down. Allison, the cats are redoing the curtains there. There's always a toy. The cats don't care. It's like curtains, those are a toy. Everything's a toy. Hi, Bruce. All the cats are out today. All right. Come on up. Making sure, long. Don't let your body position get compromised here, even if it starts getting tough from your calf. Good. And 3, 2, 1. All right. So that is our set. We're going to go through it one more time. If it felt like, all right, getting up from my chair was super easy, great. Use something a little bit smaller. So lower. So your couch will be lower because you sink down into it more. So go ahead and try something different. If you want to, let's go for it. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Good. The idea is that you can work up to these and keep making them a little more difficult by getting lower and lower. You should be getting stronger because we've been doing these. Now we're practicing perfect form, so you can get lower and lower. Good. All right. Make sure you take a quick peek at your knee. That is not turning into a snake impersonation. Good. And 3, 2, go ahead, right to the other side. All right. If you're starting to feel like, ooh, these are getting tiring, make sure you sit down with both legs. Then you get a little break and you're just doing the up. Good. Just get in that up with the single leg. All right. Don't rush through these. Remember, you've got the inhale as you sit down to readjust your posture and then shoot it up. Good. We exhale as we come up because we exhale during the work, but also everything's coming up through our body. So we want everything moving up, assisting us. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, super duper. Okay. So now back to those calf raises. I want you really feeling like you're in a plank position. So this body position is really important here. Okay. Shall we? So everyone first, foot up, check your hip. We're not doing that. We are upright. Let's do it. Good. All right. If you don't need your whole foot on the surface, don't do it. Big toe, just barely. That's great. Good. Getting in those deep breaths, keeping shoulders back. I am really telling you a lot of things right now. There's infinite number of micro adjustments you could be making, but let's just enjoy these last 10 seconds. Wherever you are, holding that good position. And 3, 2, all right. And come on to the other side. Check your hips, squeeze those glutes, let's go. Good. All right. If you've got your foot really heavy on this chair, see if you can make it lighter. That requires a little bit more work through your core, hips. Good. That's what we're going for, right? Our first set, we always do some kind of balance something. So those get-ups, single leg. This one requires full balance, like we're holding a plank. All right. And 3, 2, whew. Okay, you can put these chairs away if they're in your way. And if you've got out your yoga block or some kind of small stool to stand on, this is the part of the workout where I want you to grab it. Also, I want you to grab some water while we're doing this, but we are going to get started. We have 2 things, hip hikes and balance reach. I think most of you have done these with me. So the hip hike, we stand on something elevated because I don't want you to touch the ground with this other side. So I want you to be able to stand first at a neutral position, which can be really hard. Some people's tendency would be here. Obviously, my hips are not neutral, right? If there's a line, it would not be parallel to the floor. I want you to be able to start in this neutral position and come both down and up. So that's our hip hikes, and then balance touch. Those look like in this position here. And then the only thing that moves is the planted leg, ankle, and knee. The idea is that we're not coming down with our hip, but we're just moving this planted leg to get there. All right, so let's start with the hip hikes. Everyone hopefully has something. If you don't have anything, you could truly stand on your chair because we're not aiming for the ground here. We're just aiming to have plenty of space for our hip to move. Let's go. So we're coming up and down, but a yoga block should be enough. I know for me on these 2 books here, if I have my foot neutral, not pointed, I cannot touch the ground. I do not have that much movement through my hip. Whew, I feel this in that planted leg. 5 more seconds. And 3, 2, all right. Let's go to the other side. So readjust your position, check your foot, and then you don't have to look down again. We're looking out. Here we go. Good. So we are working on this strong hip. This is something you could do daily, getting this good control over your hips. I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Control. All right. Good. Coming up as high as you can. You might need to slow it down. The tendency might be just come up here. For me, that's where I would stop if I wasn't slower, and then I could come up another inch if I slow it down. Good. 5 more seconds. And nicely done. All right, let's change our planted leg. The planted leg is the working leg. The rest of our body is in a tight position. We are in this position here. So our glutes are really working. Arms, I want you to think about, you have your the pits of your elbows facing each other. Your hands are facing each other. Thumbs up. Let's do it. Touching down. You may or may not be able to touch down. If you are on something that's decently high and you don't have the control through your knee and ankle, you might not be able to touch down. If you're just about 6 inches up as a runner, you should be able to come up and down in this hold position 10 times without falling off of your spot. So think about that as your like minimum thing, what you should be able to do. A PT would want you to be able to do that. Holding those hips, not letting hip drop. Good, almost there on this side. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get to the other side. Right. If you feel like, man, I'm falling, or I really have to move my hip, or I think my hip is moving, really get in less of a movement so you don't have to move that hip. All right, here we go. Knee and ankle only. Is everyone squeezing your glutes? Yes, Dana, we are. We're always squeezing our glutes. Okay, good job. Thumbs stay up. Arms stay really tight, not sagging down as we go. Good. Again, this is like we're doing a plank. How's it looking out there? Oh, beautiful. Okay, keeping arms in. 3, 2, good. All right, we go through one more time. Yay! All right, so get back to your hip hike position. And I want you standing in a neutral spot. So if you couldn't tell that you didn't have one foot on the ground, no one would know. So you're not standing like that or like that, but standing neutral. Here we go. Down, up as high as you can. Good. Good. See if you can increase how much motion you can get by slowing it down. So for me, I could really do a small range of motion, or I can wait for it and get a bigger range. Good. That's what I want to see. Yes. Let's see it. 3 or 4 inches of travel here. Like we're a mountain bike shock or something. Good. And 3, 2, switch it up. All right. So again, let's get into that neutral position. No one would tell that you don't have one foot on the ground. Here we go. Good. Hips coming up and down. Trying to keep your arms nice and still if they can. There's no mosquitoes here, at least in my office. Good. All right. Oh, that was so easy. I said keep arms still and everyone's arms went like, whoop. All right. And 3, 2, Brian's like ended in like a very special karate kick. Good. Okay. So back to our balance reach. Sorry, I had to call you out on that one. It was cute. All right. Back to our balance reach. So switching your foot, where that working foot on there. Start with your hips neutral. That's this, right? This position. And then coming here, glutes tight to keep that leg out. Arms are solid. We are solid. Let's go. Touching down only if it doesn't require you moving your hip at all. Good. Really just focusing the movement. If you wanted to think about something, think about your knee coming down and up. Yes, let's see it. Keeping the arms still. Think about keeping the arms towards your head. 5, 4, 3, 2. Great. All right. Everyone put their arms down really fast just there. They're like, I'm done with that. Okay. I'll slowly load us up for this next one. How about 5 seconds and then we get started. So get up into your position. Let's get neutral before we get our arms up above our head. All right, hips are good. Let's get arms and glutes activate. Here we go. We're kind of in our superhero position. There's a superhero for everything right now. So why not this one be a superhero? Okay. We are ready for our Marvel debut. Good. Super strong hip lady. That does not have a ring to it. I'm gonna have to work on my superhero names here. Good. If you touch down on one side and you cannot touch down on this side, that doesn't matter. I want you to go for what works, not letting your hips tilt at all. Good. Just 5 more seconds. All right, donezo. Let's get on the ground and roll our hips. We just worked them. Now we roll them. So you know the story of this one. We are going to do one side at a time. We're going to start here and just getting around the hip. You can do all the moves we use for our foam roller. The pin and stretch, the shearing motion, the roll, whatever feels good for you. Do not ignore the tough spots. That's why I start with my inner thigh, because that is a terrible place to roll, but it does feel like it is doing something important. So let's go for it. I'm counting us a minute and a half on each side. All right, if this is an especially sore spot for whatever reason, keep your foam roller nearby and use it again today. So you don't have to do this. I don't mean do this whole workout again. I just mean do the hips again. Or maybe you felt really good doing those scissors or the calf rolling. You can do that one again today. It's only 3 minutes or so. You cannot say you didn't have 3 minutes. You could say you forgot, but I'm sure you could find 3 minutes somewhere if you're chatting on the phone or watching a silly video. But if this is a sore spot, you probably spent more than 90 seconds getting yourself into that mess. So spending a little more time getting out of it would be good. We are not getting any younger, so this kind of mobility pays off for sure. Keeps us playing our games, whatever those games are. All right, there's 15 more seconds. So if you feel like, uh-oh, I neglected a spot, maybe you just do it later, or you can spend these last 10 seconds getting it. Otherwise, if you feel ready, go ahead and switch to the other side, all around that hip, upper thigh, inner thigh. Good, whatever feels good. If it doesn't feel good on your wrists, just get down into a low position. You do not need to hurt your wrists by doing this. All right, good. So I was sleeping with Kevy in the van, camping out at the race, and Kevy, there were squirrels and maybe chipmunks. Well, yeah, squirrels outside of the van. So she was running around like a maniac until we went to bed. Anyway, so the first sign of light, she was up at the window crying to have me let her out so she could get back at it. I thought she would forget. I'm an idiot. I forget that dogs are very, very smart. So anyway, so much for sleeping in past when the sun came out, because Kevy was raring to go. Anyway, hopefully you guys are raring to go today once we get this done. After we do our hips here, which we have another 30 seconds, we are going to do our ab set, and then we will be almost done. Backs, foam roll, and that's it. We are getting to the end of this one. Whew, it's that time of year where it's getting warm in the house. All right, I guess that's good for mobility, maybe. All right, 10 more seconds. So finish up wherever you are. Hopefully it's feeling in that good, bad. Everyone's making that, this is really good, bad face. All right. And you can keep rolling if you can see the screen, because I'll show you what we're doing. So you can roll through that if you want, or just take a look at me. So we're going to do 2 things for this next set. We are going to pass our roller from our feet to our hands. So I've got it in between my feet. So now you can either pass it from your feet to your hands. This is level 1. Level 2 is if you get the foam roller touching behind your head and to the ground. So you can choose if you just pass it up at the top or come all the way, up to you. And then the second thing we're going to do are a low plank with a body saw. And you can have your feet on the roller or not. But if you have your feet on the roller, it will look like this. And then you can roll forward and back. Or you can just have your feet on the ground. Then it gives you a little bit of stretch through your toes. So you choose, there's no wrong way to do that one. But we'll just get our face moving forward and back over our hands. All right. So first things first, though, everyone on your back, let's get that foam roller passing through. So I want to see everyone first before we even start. When you have a good exhale, make sure your back is fully on the ground. There's no little tunnels for mice. Your rib cage is pointing down, and go for it. Go for it. Good. So it doesn't need to be fast. Okay, you guys are adorable. This is very fun to watch. Oh, and it is very bright in my studio here. Keep this going. I am timing it, I promise. All right. Let's see it. Good. Keep on breathing. Keep the back down. If you're starting to feel low back pain, don't go down as far with your feet. There's 5 more seconds. 3, 2, well done. All right. So now switch your position. I want you to get onto your elbows. Go ahead onto your elbows and either using your foam roller or not. My foam roller is really a hard one, so I am leaving it and I'm going to do my body saw on my feet, but you can also travel a little farther if you get your feet onto your foam roller. But go ahead and join me when you're ready. Counting 30 seconds, starting now. Good. Squeezing glutes, keeping those tight, and just letting yourself move from your feet and elbows. That's it. Good. All right. Feeling your breath, getting a good breathing. There's just 5 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1. All right. We are going right back through. I don't want to have a lot of rest. We want to challenge ourselves here. So go ahead and roll on your back. Get your foam rollers up. In your feet, on your hands, whichever way. Let's go. Good. Nice, smooth touchdowns with that roller. Passing it back and forth. If this feels too hard, remember, level 1 is keeping legs and arms up and just passing from that shorter distance. You will still feel it, I promise you. Good. I see Maria's using a pillow. If your foam roller feels awkward, totally fine to use that. I'm glad I'm telling you at the very end of the set when we have 5 more seconds left, but for next time. All right, and 3, 2, 1, roll it over. Let's go right into the last 30 seconds before we get to foam roller backs. So everyone go ahead on to your other side, come onto your elbows, getting into that body saw position. We're on. So really feel that stretch through your toes if your feet are on the ground. If you're using your foam roller, you can travel maybe a little bit farther, back and forth. Really see if you can get your nose over your hands. That's where it starts to get hard. So that sort of leveling here, level 1 would be a lot less movement in your body. And that level 2 is really trying to reach over your hands, because that makes it harder over your shoulders and you really have to hold everything tight. Good. Keep this up. There are 10 more seconds. That's it. 10 more seconds and you get to flop on your back and we'll foam roll there and call it a day. 3, 2, yes, nicely done. Cheers to that. Cheers. So everyone on your back, let's get our foam rollers right underneath our rib cage. All right. So under our rib cage here, want you, first of all, just exhaling as you meet the foam roller, because you are relaxed here, not hurting yourself. I want you to send that signal to your brain and to your body. And you can sort of mobilize around it, support your neck, and then start rolling, shearing motion, whichever feels good on you. You can do all 3. I feel like that one's really effective. You just roll up an inch, try and mobilize around that foam roller, and then shear side to side, and then up an inch of rolling. Feels good. Mobilize around. So you're trying to just arch your back around and then get that shearing motion. You can do all 3, do whatever you want. I'm counting us another full minute, and then you can keep going as much as you want. Bonus if you roll through your armpits. Your armpits will thank you. Your brain might not thank you. Your brain will definitely not thank me, but you know, you can do hard things. All right. So just keeping the breathing, whatever you're doing, that's the most important thing. Making sure you're just not holding your breath. You're not trying to hurt yourself here. You're trying to make things feel better. So you got this. All right. Just 20 more seconds. Or you can stop if you're done, but you can keep going as well. 10 more seconds and you have completed, you have rise and shone, you shined like a diamond, all the things. So thank you guys. I hope this starts off an amazing week. And if you want to say hi, please do.